It's the Zach Martin Show on New HD TV. We're with Mitch Perry, and he's got a new Christmas song out along with a video. We'll get to that in a second. And, Mitch, usually this time of year in radio, records, and even with the touring, people start to shut down a little bit. They don't have as many concerts. Maybe they look forward to a New Year's Eve show, things like that. But this is when we take our break. However, since we've been on break for much of 8 or 9 months or whatever, I lost count. No such thing this year, but that's okay. So welcome back to New HD TV. Why don't you just tell us what you're up to these days, and then we'll play something very special that people can listen to and watch.
Well, we've actually, funnily enough, whereas you are correct, in the end of the year, usually things slow down. Seeing as we weren't really in high speed at all this year, things actually picked up for us in December because we did that gig in Pahrump that I just told you about. It was basically an award show that we were fortunate enough to win a couple of awards. I picked up one for Video of the Year for Believe, and I got Producer of the Year for the album. So I was really proud of that. But originally we were just going to go and accept the awards, and the show had gotten pared down from what it originally was as every new COVID restriction came into place. Then it got canceled, and one of the investors asked if I'd come out and play a private party, because he had just gotten so many people involved in this and wanted to pay them back somehow. And that evolved into where it moved to Pahrump, and we did the show, and they did a scaled down version of the awards. But it was a really, really fun time because, we did it in an 1,140 seat capacity ballroom. There were 4 people to a table that could seat 10. Even if the band was turned off, you couldn't hear your dinner conversation. You were sitting so far away from everybody. But, it was done right, and we had a great time, and it was nice to pick up a couple of accolades for the album because Lord knows we haven't been able to go out and play live like we'd like to. And then the triple bonus to this was at the end of the show, we didn't just play a couple songs. We did a full set of the new record. And it was the first time we have played the record live. And it may have been for just 50 people that we didn't have a hope of seeing from the stage. But it felt so great. The music translated to live just as seamlessly as I had expected it would, and the band killed, and it went over. So that, in that regard, it's been a nice couple of weeks, and we got home from that immediately and went into recording and making this video for this Christmas song that we have. So, yeah, we've been busy.
Now, the award ceremony in Pahrump, that is the home of the legendary Art Bell, is it not? The broadcaster who used to do the late night shows from the Kingdom of Nye.
Yeah, I believe it is. I'm not quite as familiar with Pahrump as most, but I do believe I've heard that name there.
I don't even think the best seers when Art Bell was on back in the day would have ever imagined what was going on or what would happen in 2020. Can't wait till 2021. I do predict that 2021, Mitch, will be an odd year. You can count on 2021 being an odd year. If you're a mathematician, you got the joke. If you don't know math, it just flew right over your head. So that's okay as well.
Well, if you're a bad mathematician.
Yeah.
If you're a creative accountant, you could be wrong.
That's true. If you're a creative accountant, 2021 will be fuzzy no matter what. Fuzzy math.
Exactly.
I remember that. Mitch, this time of year, I'm trying to put together my Christmas list. And most people, I would guess, have done most of their shopping on Amazon, right? Because of the situation. So everybody last minute shopping. And I think you could still order today and get it there for Christmas. And believe it or not, Amazon will deliver on Christmas morning. Poor people that have to do that. I was thinking of this might sound crazy. Now I'm in my mid 50s, and I was thinking of learning how to play guitar. And you're a great guitar player. I know I have some musicality in these genes. I'm a little bit of, I guess, of a klutz. I can trip over stuff when I'm not looking up. I hit my head when I'm looking down. Yeah, exactly. When I'm not looking up, I hit my head. When I look up, I trip. That's it. I trip up the stairs. I do dumb things like that. Your advice: should a person my age think about perhaps order an acoustic guitar and try to teach myself?
Oh, you should absolutely, absolutely do anything you want to. I mean, age has nothing to do with it. And you look at some of the greatest guitar players of our time, and they're playing as great as they ever did, right up to the end.
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean, really,
you listen to Paco de Lucia play right before he passed away. He's still the greatest guitar player on the planet.
Chuck Berry had an album out right around the time that he passed away. He was in his 90s when he released his
Yeah.
final. I don't know how much work he did on it. And then, Keith Richards just turned 77 from the Pirates of the Caribbean. You might recognize that guy. And he seems not to be losing any steam. And then Paul McCartney. Oh my gosh. His Paul McCartney's solo album, Mitch, is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very surprised. I think he played most of the instruments himself. He could play anything.
I mean, let's face it. He got to be in the Beatles. He got to be in Wings. I mean, if he hasn't gotten good by now, he's not going to get good.
If he hasn't gotten it down yet.
I mean, I was really happy to see this new record with a lot of cool music on it. Because sometimes, I mean, God, you talk about a songwriter like Paul McCartney or and sometimes it's hard to believe, they write anything less than Let It Be, but every now and then they do. But this last record was really great. And I got to say, for my money, his band and his show is one of the best rock shows you can go to, out of anybody of any age, any era right now. I mean, that is a band that knows how to play those songs great. And Paul does them every bit of 100 times more justice than he should at the age he's at. It's
right.
Amazing.
He's got a good band, including Brian Ray on guitar, who's another great. His new album, I was listening to some of the tracks. Now, let me just say this. I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy here, but sometimes, every once in a while, believe it or not, Paul releases a song and I think to myself, it wasn't very good. I expect more out of Paul. I mean, he's got, a high bar to live up to. I was just previewing some of these tracks on Paul McCartney 3, I think is the name of the album. And wow, every single song in this, we're going to end up playing on New HD and New HDLA.
That's great.
It's just fantastic. All right. So now Christmas time, I was driving yesterday, Mitch, and I was in Pennsylvania in the Poconos region, and I stopped in. I had to use the bathroom. Whenever I stop into a place to use the bathroom, especially under these conditions, I feel obligated to buy something from those locations. So I got some sodas and drinks and whatnot, and wearing my mask. And on the way, I'm checking out, and I noticed the people behind the counter, they're wearing their mask, and everybody seems a little bit uneasy about the situation. Can't say I blame them. And I go to the woman behind the counter. I go, listen, I can handle the social distancing. I can handle wearing the masks, but I don't know how you handle listening to this fecking Christmas music all day long. Because simply having a wonderful Christmas time. And it's been a while since we've had some new Christmas songs. Mitch Perry, thank you for actually producing something on your own. Tell us a little bit about the background of the song.
Before I do that, I want to tell you, just so you know how she can put up with all that music, they have to train their salespeople at Guitar Center. If they
Oh,
can make it through a full day at Guitar Center, they're good for any Christmas sale.
oh my gosh, yeah, that's true. I listen, nothing beats Guitar Center. I know that uh, they're going to file bankruptcy, but I guess they're going to reorganize. I don't know what's going to happen there, but
Yeah,
thank God for Guitar Center. Where would we be? How would I, be able to buy cables? Mitch, before we get to your song, I just sometimes things my brain, like it's not function properly. And I'm looking and I'm like, why are my mic cables? Why am I getting that sound? Like there's a problem with the grounding. And my wife goes, those cables are, uh, you've had them as longer than we've been married, over 20 years. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's why. So I had to go buy new cables. Um, so take us through this Christmas song that you did. Maybe talk about some of the people, and then how you put together the video during COVID-19. I know that from what I understand, you've had this Christmas song up there in a shelf somewhere for a while.
Oh yeah, well, it's funny. What happened is I'd never had a game plan to write a Christmas song, and about 2007, I was playing. I was just sitting down at the piano, banging out some chords, and it came to me. I went, "Wow! If I was ever going to write a Christmas song, this is it." And right on saying that, "A Very Merry Christmas" came right up. I mean, came right into my head on the chorus, and the song kind of again was one of those magic ones that wrote itself in 25 minutes. It didn't exist, and all of a sudden it did. I had an opportunity to get a bunch of people together to put it on a Christmas compilation album that was being put together by a friend of mine at the time. And suffice to say, my original visions didn't come close to being realized by anything we did on it. And to the point where I kind of forgot about the song. That thing went out and disappeared, and that was that. And when I started playing the song for my better half, Ruth, one day, and she's like, "This is awesome. This is great." And then I said, maybe we should think about recording it again. And I'd played it for a few more friends, and everyone felt that way. So, here we are now getting down. I've been hoping we could get together and start recording like normal, and that really hasn't happened. And I just ended up piecing this together, I cut the song on piano myself, sent it to Tal Bergman, the drummer on Music Box, and he listened to what I did and pretty much gave me a drum track that was almost perfect on the way back. I had him change a couple things up, and from there I took it. I went back to my engineer's studio. I went in and played all the keyboards, bass, and guitar so we could start putting vocals down on it. Went up to work with Joe Retta, who did some backgrounds for me. Came back from his place, had Dan McNay replace my bass with some really good bass. And between him and Tal, all of a sudden the song had a new life. I mean, there's such a great rhythm section together. Keyboard wise, we kind of kept what I had. I had Steve Aguilar, who played on Music Box. He did a B3 part for me. Dave Schultz did all the glockenspiel and bells and Christmassy things on keyboards for me. And then we had Kara Turner sing lead, as well as the other guys in MPG. Keith England sang on it, on some of the backgrounds. And, we basically got everybody on it, but nobody was ever in the room at the same time. And nobody ever had an idea on what the actual finished product was going to sound like. I kind of thought I did, And hopefully, or actually, thankfully, it came out pretty close to as expected. I mean, I'm really, really, really pleased with the job everyone did. I didn't want it to be a carbon copy of an old Christmas song, but as a kid, I knew it was Christmas when I started hearing the Crystals and the Ronettes singing,
Yeah.
those songs. I mean, that meant Christmas to me probably more as a kid than Jingle Bells. So I've loved that music ever since then. And I was really pleased that we kind of got that vibe on the song, but without Xeroxing it. It's not like we just went in and copied their sounds and copied what they did. It was more just inspired by it. But I think it's got its own little niche there in how it came out.
Well, that's good because all you need is that one Christmas song that remains on the chart year after year, like Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, which last year went to number one. Right now, it's 14 on the Billboard Hot 100. And I think that the reason is because, well, obviously, this Christmas is like no other Christmas, just like this Thanksgiving and everything else that's happened so far this year is not like any other year.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that A Very Merry Christmas goes to number one each and every year in the Billboard Hot 100, especially this time of year, because then I can say, hey, I know that guy personally. But
Well,
let's play the video right now and we'll talk a little bit more. It is a Mitch Perry Group Very Merry Christmas.
Mommy, how long until Santa gets here?
Can you feel it in the sunshine? Can you feel it in the air? Can you feel it all around you? It's everywhere. I've been waiting such a long time. I know you've waited too. And now the time has come. It's gonna be here soon.
Wow, that was really well done, man. Great video. Very Merry Christmas from Mitch Perry Group
wow,
to
thank you.
the rest of the world. I think that this has got something special going on here as far as Christmas songs go. I like the fact that it's an original. I like all the different types of tricks you encompassed in this production. It's not what we're used to hearing from Mitch Perry. So why don't you tell us about a little bit of a change of direction? Let me just say this before you answer the question. I fully appreciate when an artist does something that nobody expects of them. And it just, I would like to hear Metallica do that one day. Just like do something totally non-Metallica.
Well, I mean, for me, first off, music is 12 notes. They're the same 12 notes, whether they're country, whether they're classical, whether they're rock and roll. It's just a matter of how you put them out there. I mean, I've listened to so many different styles of music and learned so many different styles of music through the years. I mean, I like when people heavy up Christmas songs and do rocked out versions of Christmas classics and things, and that's one way of breathing new life into a song. But for me, I really kind of wanted to. I wanted to bring back a song that reminded me of how I felt when I was a kid when Christmas rolled around, and so then that's kind of what what we were trying to do there, and hopefully we did.
Well, I think Santa put you on the good list this year for that very Merry Christmas song. So you probably will get some extra surprises underneath your Christmas tree. I'm just wondering, do you have a guitar on your list? What was your letter to Santa this year? What did you ask for?
Give us some normalcy back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I have to say this is the first Christmas probably in my entire life I could care less about a Christmas present.
Yeah.
I would just like to see this world get back to where we belong.
Well, look, if you're a little kid, none of this stuff that's happening to us adults matter in their world. I notice the kids in the neighborhood are carrying on. They have smiles on their faces. They're walking with their dogs. They are not complying to a lot of the mandates, which I love about kids. They just don't care. So you know that the little kids throughout the world, for the most part, unless, they're in places where, things aren't as good here in the United States, material-wise, I guess. They're writing their little Christmas list and they're writing their letters to Santa. And maybe this year they can't go on Santa's lap, but they got that spirit of Christmas like every little kid. So I'm sure that Mitch Perry's a very Merry Christmas will be on the list. I'm sure that a kid like me is going to get some guitar. Will I need guitar strings? Will I need a guitar tuner? What will I need
whether you need guitar strings or not depends on how you sound.
Okay, I'm going to sound awful. I'm not going to know what I'm doing. I could take what is it? The big string. Is that I call it the G string.
The big thick one at the bottom.
Yeah, what is that?
Or at the top of the neck.
It's at the top.
Depending on how you're looking at it.
Yeah, the top.
Yeah, that's the E string.
The E string. All right. So I know I can use the E string and figure out bum, 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 bum.
But you got to do that on the G string because it's in the key of G.
See, how would I know that? Oh, the key of G. I
knew
I like something
about your first guitar lesson.
I knew I liked something about the G string. That's it. All right.
I got to break Nancy Wilson's G string at an AM show.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow! I mean,
I'm not kidding. I picked it. There was one of her guitars sitting up at the Charvel booth, and I asked Grover if I could try it, and he goes, "Sure, go ahead." And I mean, I pick it up. I hit one chord, and boom, the G string pops.
You pop Nancy Wilson's G string. Not too many men could say that. Oh, cross ourselves. Forgive us. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to put the guitar on my list. I probably won't need backing. I don't know if I'll break it or not. See, this is the thing. I'm just going to get a simple acoustic, and I figure if I can learn how to do a little bit with that, maybe I'll do one of these video things. We'll make an interview session again, and he could
Yeah.
teach me a couple of moves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you know what? If you ever have any questions, you know where we're at.
All
We're
right, that's
always
good.
happy to
I feel
answer.
better about that. Now, besides the guitar on my Christmas list, Mitch Perry, because of comic books, I always wanted my own submarine. Remember that in the back of the comic books? My parents would never let me get that. The submarine that was, and it turned out it wasn't what I thought it was. Good thing my parents didn't let me get it because I lived right on the Jersey Shore at the time, and they knew me too well that I would actually take this to the beach and try to make it work underwater like an idiot. So, they wouldn't have a son too long.
Has
But
it made it to Europe yet?
my submarine,
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten it yet. I got to get
Oh.
one. Maybe an RC plane I'll put on the list. I mean, I like big toys for big boys, maybe a new car. I don't know, but I'm definitely, no matter what happens in this world around us, I will always try to be the same, Mitch Perry. I'll always have my Christmas list. I'll always think big and dream big and just like not be deterred by anything around me. I'm living in my own little world here, and it's okay, you know?
That's a great way to be. I mean,
Now, if someone wants to get a very Merry Christmas or any Mitch Perry products, you can go to mitchperry.com, correct?
exactly. Everything Mitch Perry is available there. And
Tell
yeah,
us about some of your merch. Now, I know that people can actually listen to for free. They can listen to the song "A Very Merry Christmas" for free on YouTube or go to your site and see it for themselves.
exactly. And if they want to have it for their own collection, which I would like to hope they would,
Right. Yeah.
they can download it from our site, and that's the
Oh,
only
good.
place we did. Like I said, we were so late on doing all this stuff. We didn't even have time to put it up on iTunes or anything like that. That
Yeah, that's
wasn't,
fine.
it wasn't a design by design or anything. It's just we ran out of time. So for right now, go to mitchperry.com and you'll be able to get anything that you need. That's Mitch Perry, whether it be our new record music box, my instrumental wire to wire, or the Christmas single, or any one of those wonderful MPG shirts that we have for sale.
That's nice.
Which
Good.
are the most comfortable shirts in the world. I think everyone thinks I'm like so full of myself because all I ever do is wear MPG shirts, and that's not why I wear them. They are the nicest shirts.
Okay.
I mean, they are so comfortable. I'm telling you, you'll never take it off if you get one.
Never apologize. I wear the same hat. It's the Tokyo Yokimo Giants because I like Japanese baseball because I'm nuts. And I got it for free. This shirt here, this blue one, I've had for 20 some odd years. I don't know what's wrong with me. Again, I find a comfortable shirt. If it's got Mitch Perry on it, I'm going to wear it. That's how it goes. So don't think you're full of yourself. Now, before we leave, and again, go to mitchperry.com, see the video, download the song. It's a great Christmas song. Get your eggnog. You got to be prepared for this. You have to have good eggnog as you listen. And wait for Santa to come down that chimney. Make sure that Santa does have the proper cookies. And boys and girls, if you're listening, Santa Claus does not have COVID-19. He tested negative. He would never get it because he's a saint. He's Saint Nicholas. He's Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So the same rules of life doesn't apply to Santa Claus. He's this amazing dude who can get down anybody's chimney and put those gifts right underneath the tree.
Yeah, but Rudolph's nose is not looking too good these days.
Rudolph is a prankster. He'll leave something special on the roof for Dad to clean off, and your dad will go, Rudolph, why did you do that again? Because somebody gave Rudolph carrots along the way before they got to your house. Now, I know kids will be going to check online when Santa starts his deliveries, but kids, if you really want to have the best Christmas, do what your parents tell you. You must have a clean bedroom. You must listen to mommy and daddy. You must get to sleep early. You got to leave out those cookies for Santa. Santa prefers about 3 or 4 nice size cookies if you have them. If not, no problem. He'll get them somewhere else. And, make sure that mom and dad are all good to go. And take care of mom and dad. Take care of everybody. Be good to your sister and your cousin and all your friends, and everything will work out well. Now, I want to talk before we leave. We just got maybe a minute here. Some albums that are on your list that you want to download, maybe the new Paul McCartney and maybe a couple of other ones that interest you that are not Mitch Perry. I know you should be at the top of the list, but for this exercise, I want you to give us, Mitch Perry's picks of the must-haves on your iPhone or whatever you use.
Now, are we talking any records of all time?
Any records at all.
I mean,
I got one for you while it's on my mind. I love the Steve Conte NYC album. Man, is that good.
great
Not a bad
record.
track on. Yeah, it's a great record.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great things, and for me, I always have a problem with this question because it's totally mood dependent.
Right. Okay.
If I'm in the mood to rock, Van Halen one, it doesn't get
Excellent.
better.
Okay.
You
Good.
know, if I'm in the mood to British rock, anything Zeppelin, anything Purple.
Oh man, freaking great.
Yeah, I mean, but I can also just as be, just be just as happy spending the whole day listening to Motown.
I love that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I there's not a Motown song I don't know that I don't. I mean, I love them all. I mean, I could also be happy listening to the Gypsy Kings all day. I mean, I love all sorts of different types of music, and once again, going back to the question about the Christmas song, it's one of the reasons why I didn't feel the need to try and make it heavier or match it up to what we do, because hey, it's just a piece of music and you treat it right and it'll treat you right.
Well, music is definitely in your DNA. That's for sure. There was something I was going to tell you about the music. Oh, with the Motown. Here's something that's a little bit. Here's a gift suggestion for you, Mitch Perry. A book by Mark Beagle and Mary Wilson of the Supremes. Mark Beagle, Mary Wilson. I got the name right. It's called Eat Like a Rock Star. And it's got recipes from all your favorite rock stars. It's incredible. I mean, there's even one from who was it that really surprised me? It was a lamb dish. You know what? You'll have to get the book because I forget. But I was amazed.
I was fortunate enough to meet Mary Wells last year.
Oh, is it Mary Wells?
Mary
Wells.
Wells.
You told me that because somehow I get Wilson in there. And
I'm
Williams.
sorry. I meant Mary Wilson.
Mary Wilson. Okay, so now, see, this is what happens when you know what I mean.
Yeah. But
anyway, Eat Like a Rock Star. You'll like it. And Mickey Dolenz has a nice cocktail recipe in it as well. So for Mitch Perry, I'm Zach Martin. This is New HD TV. Make sure you get a very Merry Christmas by the Mitch Perry Group, which is available at mitchperry.com.